All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the third episode of our complete course construction series. And we're still here on the opening hole, as it is pretty much playable, except for we haven't worked on our green yet. But we need to really start establishing what we want this course to look like. We want this first hole to be an absolute stunner. So we want to establish that look. So I think this is going to be our first kind of time lapse episode. I'm going to kind of speed up the footage. But before we get into that and I speed things up, I'm going to kind of show you a couple things that I am planning on using. So I think I mentioned earlier, pretty sure I did, that I kind of want this to be kind of Cypress Point kind of look. So, here are a couple pictures of Cypress Point, the coast, these really craggy shores and rocks. I want to try to recreate that the best possible. In fact, B101 put up a little handy tip on how to do these kind of rocks without them actually being rocks. I'll show you how to do those quick. So they're kind of like how we did them. I do them a little bit differently, but not too much. So that, and then where's a good picture of them? The trees. Trees are a challenge. There are not any trees that look like this in the game, but we're going to make our own trees, and I think we might be able to get it to work. It's going to be a little bit more time consuming and a little bit more of a pain in the butt, but see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, so let's start with the shoreline. So I kind of want to make that really rocky, kind of craggy coast. So, it's already a pretty good start in here. But, I kind of want some more kind of rocks kind of jutting out kind of all over here. So what I'm going to start by doing is, we got to start our clock. I'm not going to put the music on for this one because I'm going to be going into time lapse here pretty soon. So, at least I think. All right, so I'm just going to flatten this, try to bring it a little bit closer to the surface, not right to the surface, but large parts of it. Bring it up a little bit closer, just to a bit to play with. That's okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some little rocks, but they're not actually going to be rocks. I'm going to kind of just raise the land and then make the land a little bit darker to kind of mimic rocks. So what I'm going to do is looking for land. So I'm going to use one of these little brushes, something like this, just to raise different parts up. Just kind of create a few rock areas. Bring a bunch of different stuff here. I guess we didn't flatten. Oh well, whatever. That's okay. Whoa. Get some weird stuff. Just gonna kind of raise a few things out. We don't want them too pointy. I want to kind of avoid being too. Making ourselves some little kind of things that look like rocks. Coastline. Really just as random as we possibly can. We have some rock patches a little bigger than others. This. Neat. Kind of like that big island out there, too. So, make it pretty rocky. Especially closer to the shore, we're going to probably make a few more bigger rocky section. That's probably, maybe that's enough. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to make them a little bit darker. Right now they're just kind of that base. Well, they're dark, but they're not super dark. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to sink some trees. So pick a tree, any tree, really. I'm going to use one that's in my theme so I don't waste any memory meter. So, and the bigger you make a tree, the actually better this works. And as you can see, lower it down, make that rock darker. So go around and do that. Rocks. Or, well, they're not rocks, land. But this is going to, I think, be a little bit better than actually using rocks. Okay. You can see they're kind of turning definitely a darker brown, almost a black color. Look especially good in the light. Oh, that looks nice. I'll try to kind of get along the coast as well. Darken it up. Go. Now it doesn't seem to work. It works closer to the water. It doesn't work as well higher up. Okay. We're by the coast anyway. Yes, this will eat a little bit of plant meter, but kind of here. That we're gonna kind of make more flat. Almost like a little natural island. That. Okay, we've got kind of a nice little natural craggy looking coastline here. Again, I will probably add a little here. So again, this just kind of, if you do this right, you're gonna have to plant it. So I might kind of get lazy with the flatten. I'm gonna bring things up, see what they look like. So that's getting a little bit kind of flatten. Kind of extending that out a bit more. Good. Well, I might add a few more rocks here and there. Your chunk, stuff like that. Nice start. Okay. Getting a little wonky. That looks a bit set. Okay. That'll do for now. We'll probably touch up the coastline maybe a little later on in the process. And we'll finish by say trees. Dark guys. Okay. There we go. So then kind of just for coastline, I might just do just a little bit of... I might make kind of the top part of the coast Um, maybe just like a little bit of fluffier, kind of bright green bushes. Kind of look on this picture of Cypress Point. You kind of get this little. See that? Oh, what is there? There. You kind of get this look here. What I want. So I want to try to recreate that. So I think natural idea here. Bush and probably this guy. So I just want to do a little bit of test planting here to see if that's kind of the look I am trying to achieve here. It's actually take up a lot of meter. Yeah, about quite getting the look I want. No, really. Nah, not really working how I was hoping. That's okay. We might not get that exact look, but we might use this a little bit, just maybe a bit more scattered. So anyway, that's the coastline. That's the coastline. Now let's talk about some inland stuff, and specifically those pesky trees. So back to the picture there. These trees here, you got a lot of like stump, I guess, or trunk. And then you got this kind of flat foliage. Or I don't know. I don't even know what you call it. That's hard to pull off. I mean, there's a few trees that kind of mimic it, but I honestly think the best way to go about it is probably combining like the dead, maybe sycamore trees, and then throwing some bushes in as the foliage. So let's try it and see. Actually, I've never tried this before. Um, so let's go with the something with a lot of trunk. Oh, you guys can't see anything. Really should edit that, but anyway, with like a lot of mm, up a bit. That could work. These trees are obviously going to take a lot longer now, but if I put one there and then I go and try that bush, I'll probably use this bush. Kind of try to make some. It's going to be flat enough. And match some things. Let's see if we can make a tree that kind of resembles. Have it kind of float in the air and kind of extending out, because these trees kind of foliage kind of extends outward quite a bit, so they're also at different heights too and smaller amounts. It's not exactly what I want, but it might be passable. May just be passable. Yeah, each tree is going to take up a heck of a lot of. As you can see, look at this. I mentioned this in the last episode. Look how long that shadow is. So that's going to be a problem. Okay, so I mean, get that. That's not bad. Maybe put bundles of like 4 or 5 in places and kind of see what happens. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and we're just gonna plant a little bit. So I'm gonna turn off the camera. We'll keep the time on, and I'm gonna speed things up. So we'll see in a bit. Hopefully, you enjoy this little time lapse. Hey, I'm back. So I think that's a pretty good place to stop the planting for now. So I kind of went with tried to do those kind of funky, I don't even know what those trees are calling, I have to look them up. They're a little artificial. I mean, it's hard to get those bushes to kind of be a little bit more random. I might try to tinker with a few more things there. I threw in a couple other um, trees here just to kind of mix things up. It looks a little weird just being in a bunch right now, but there's going to be more bunches all throughout, so I think I'm hoping it'll look a little better once we get some more planting in. But yeah, for now, this kind of looks a little awkward, just kind of out on its own. A little bit of a work in progress. I threw in these little bushes, which I kind of like. They take up a ton of plant meter, so I don't know. I'm going to keep those. And I kept the planting pretty simple on the coast, just kind of dotted it with some of these just nice green bushes, a few of the browner ones nearer, closer to the water. And that's about all I did. So pretty basic in terms of um, planting. So we'll finish off with some just kind of heavy rough placement, and then we'll work on the green that far down. Get it along the edge there. Okay. Back start. Boom. That is a pretty stunning off the tee first shot, I would say. That looks great. Yeah, we'll probably have to tweak the planting. Also, one thing I did notice is what we're going to have to be careful with is look at how big that shadow is cast from that big bunch of trees. Like 15 green is, or sorry, that's 15T. 14 green, it might be an issue there, so we might have to tweak for the green site there. So shadows, we're going to kind of have to dodge. It's okay to have some shadows on your greens, but we don't want them completely in the shade, so we're going to have to try to avoid that best we possibly. Okay, so green, what do I want to do here? So, let's see, 444, I would kind of like to stick this at the back here. This up a bit. There we go. Oh, I just heard Bill there. No music on this episode, sorry. We're just kind of just finishing up here. Well, now everyone's subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Kind of weird how they come in clusters, so why they do that. Okay. Go. Some kind of wild movement here. All right, so I think pin 1 back here. And maybe not in the shadow. Put pin 1 kind of on this hump here. 2 stick way up here, so that's going to be a long shot in. In 3, it's going to go back left there, or front left, I guess. Final pin. Probably right at the... Be kind of back right here. What's my green speed? 5. I want it up a little higher. Get those beads moving a little bit more. Okay, so maybe a little bit of flattening here. So not going to be easy pins, or easy greens, I mean. No, I mean this hole, the exception of some pretty minor things, we'll go back and touch up at various points if I see them. It's pretty much complete. I like the single tree here, but I'm a little worried it's causing shadow issues. It's putting a big shadow right down the middle of the green, so we're going to have to analyze that here. Let's give this hole a play here. I love the look. It's going to look better once we put in a few more clumps of trees and stuff. Big drive there. Oh, that's a beautiful second. That's a beautiful shot right there. Yeah, we're going to have to fix that edge there, I think. A little bit unfair. It's going to come back off this kicker. Not quite. All right, so a little bit of green sculpting fix we got to do. Let's start. Yeah, here we got to flatten this quite a bit. That. Like that. Raise it up a bit there. Perfect. I created a little bit of a tier on accident. I don't know about this yet. That's too tough of a target for a 467 yard. That down a bit. this pin too. Give it one more quick play test here. No. Tough to get at. Oh, don't want to do that. We're going to try to find a way to make that a little bit more punishing along the cliff. Make those cliffs a little bit steeper. I mean, some of them are going to get caught there, but that's just the name of the game. It's fine. And that, I mean, still plenty of touch-ups we have to do, but we can always go back and fix those at a later date. But I think, off the clock there, that might be a good kind of saying we're, I think, 95% done this first hole. And I'm kind of digging it. Kind of digging it. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. And for the next episode, we'll jump into hole 2, which is going to be a bit more of a inland hole. So we might have to kind of change up our strategy for trees and all that stuff. We want some different looks. So this is going to be, I think, a fun course to build. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. We will see you next time for the next episode of the Complete Course Construction series.